Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging podcast discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, Mike D'Ambrosio, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome into Real Estate Radio Live, the podcast series. I'm Mike D'Ambrosio, real estate professional and your host of the show today. Laura Pesavento with the D'Ambrosio Real Estate team is in the studio. Laura,
Hello.
how you doing?
I'm awesome. Thank you for having me.
Good, and we're gonna be talking about something that we've never talked about on I don't think even the live show or the podcast series about becoming a real estate agent and what is involved in that. We've had a lot of people reach out to us over the past few months that have expressed interest in it or just curious what that process is like. And so we're going to talk about that today. And we probably do this in multiple podcasts because we're not going to cover everything. But if you've ever thought about getting your license or are interested in what is involved in that, then today is the show to listen to. But before we get into that, we hope you're enjoying our new podcast format. Same great info and education all of our listeners are accustomed to with the benefit of minimal commercial interruptions. So we love the podcast. We're having a lot of fun doing it. You can download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, or simply go to RERadiolive.com. That's our website. Or you can make sure to get our app, the RE Radio Live app, in the iTunes store, and you can follow the show. You can even go in there and rate the show. You're going to give us 5 stars, hopefully, and you can send us a review. And if you do that, we'll send you a gift card of some sort. So,
what about a Cipino dinner? Is that already
that had already been put out there. So
okay.
We'll get some gift cards out there. But we love to have your rave reviews and your feedback. And if you want to reach out for all things real estate or podcast related, you can reach out to me directly. You can go to my website, MikeDsells.com. That's MikeDsells.com. Or you can email me, Mike at RERadiolive.com. Or you can text or call 408-630-0101. That's 408-630-0101. And reach out, whether it's, if we have a lot of people that reach out that are looking for different types of content for the shows or interested in different subjects. And so we really love to hear from you guys. And that's pretty much what brings us to today in becoming a real estate agent, Laura. And she's been in this business helping me out for, I don't know how long, 4 years now, and little over a year full time. And so now but you were in the appraisal industry
I was
years back. Mm-hmm. So you had a taste of it then, but now you're kind of really, I guess, understanding what real estate agents go through on a daily basis, right?
And that changes all the time.
It's
right.
Definitely different.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're also going through getting your license
I
right
am.
now. So let's talk about that for a second. And frankly, to put it bluntly, it's pretty damn easy to get a real estate license. It's almost
wow. So are you setting me up like if I fail the test for the first time? Because everybody that I've spoke to has failed the test.
No, actually, I think I did the first time. But
good. That makes me feel better.
I'm a bad test taker. And
so am I.
Good. Well, then you get a pass.
Okay, well, I'm not going to tell you when I take it.
I guess what I mean is that, so for example, to become a hairstylist or a barber, you have to have like
skills,
1,000 hours of training. And you have to have like 1,000 hours in the studio of training. Do you think you need 1,000 hours of real estate training?
No, you need your certificate.
No.
You need your
to take like 3 online classes and take the test. So really from a barrier to entry standpoint, it's pretty simple, other than if you're a bad test taker and you have a hard time with that. That might be hard, but actually taking the test and getting into the business is not very difficult.
Yeah, I just find it fascinating, the array of people that do this position. I mean, I just spoke with someone the other day who was an IT director.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's a real estate agent now.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, and we have people from all different spectrums of business. We have a lot of transplants from the tech world in our office in Los Gatos. We have...
Yeah, you even mentioned we have a stylist, someone who used to do hair.
She's doing really well.
Right.
We have people...
Plug, Bliss.
We have a chiropractor. I mean, we have people from...
It's amazing.
All different
But what does
walks
that
of life.
tell you, Mike? What does that tell you? The common denominator, I think, are people who can relate to people.
Absolutely.
And you have to be trusted by the person on the other end, right? And then you have a friend for life.
Absolutely. And that's, I mean, frankly, the best way to get business. There's all sorts of ways to get business, and we'll get into that in, probably on the second half of the show. But it's pretty interesting, you know, how I got my license, and then I eventually got my broker's license because I graduated college with a concentration in real estate. It allowed me, there's two different levels of a license. There's a broker's license, which allows you to hire actual agent licensees, or the agency license. So there's the agency license, you hang your license under a broker. And the big brokers like Intero and other companies are the ones that are the big brokers usually a lot of agents go to. But if you have your broker's license, you're allowed to kind of create your own, you can do your own thing like I did for a long time before I came to Intero. And so
let me ask you that real quick, segue into that. So you had your own shingle up. You did your own thing.
Yeah.
What's the difference between then and now? I realize that was in your early years.
Yeah, no, that's a really great question. I think the difference from then to now is I was exposed, being at Intero, I've been exposed to the training, the different types of agents that I do deals with now, the networking of agents, the branding, the marketing of a big company. It's really just opened my whole world up from that standpoint. Whereas when you're your own broker, you have to do a lot of things on your own. You know, you have to go find the training. So you have to go to like the board, or you have to go elsewhere to find good training. You don't have it.
So if you knew then,
you have to set up everything. You're branding everything.
If you knew something today that you feel like you should have known back then, what would be the main nugget?
I would have come to a bigger company right in the beginning because of the training aspect. If I had the training I got at Intero years ago, and if I had that years before that, I would be probably way ahead of where I'm at now, and that's and we're doing well
which is pretty hard to believe.
Which is and we're doing well as a team now.
But you are Mr. Fast Tracker.
It's so being at a bigger and this show isn't about selling Intero or selling at whatever big company, but the point I'm trying to make is you're an independent contractor in real estate, so you're not an employee. So there's going to be no one calling you at 8:15 in the morning saying, "Where are you at? Show up to work today." It's really kind of a different world. You know, we as managers, I'm in the management side too. You know, we're only there to help support our agents, give them training, give them marketing, give them different things, but we can't make them do anything. Essentially,
and that's probably why they're there.
And that's why a lot of people are there.
Those are the kind of personalities that thrive, is being able to be their own boss, right?
Yeah.
With some assistance and training.
Absolutely.
Coaching.
You know, and that's why a lot of people get into real estate and I always put quotes on flexibility and having a flexible job as an independent contractor. And there's other jobs out there that are independent contractors too, but with real estate, you know, you think you're going to be flexible, but if you get busy in this business, you're working a lot. You know, you're working.
Yeah, it's not uncommon to be texting us back and forth on the weekend. At 6 o'clock in the morning doing some work, right?
It's not clock in, clock out. You're round the clock essentially in the real estate business, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, because if I woke up on a Tuesday and I wanted to go surfing, I could go do that. That's
if you didn't have to be at a house to give the keys to somebody.
But if I wanted to go skiing this weekend or this Friday, I can go do that. Yeah, you would say no, and probably my wife. But the point I'm trying to make is that you can pretty much do whatever you want, but it's just a matter of how much money do you want to make and how hard do you want to work. Really
and there's balance, right? I mean, you have to be able to put balance into the whole equation too, because a job like this, it calls for a personality that doesn't allow you to go all in and not have balance in another part of your life, too. Yeah. You have to be regimented.
Yeah.
You have to have what we call systems, right?
You have to have systems. And our company's big on the balance aspect of things. Like our CEO talks a lot about that. Your F5. Faith, family, fitness, friends, finances.
Ooh, so it's not that just really good.
It's not good, and I actually think it's F6 because funds needs to be in there too. So basically, you have to focus on all aspects of your life and not just work yourself to death. Because if you get busy in real estate, that can happen. You could be stretched really thin.
Especially if you don't have a small team or something.
Yeah, if you don't have help, assistant, or a buyer's agent or something like that. So anyways, before we take a quick break, and then we'll get back into this on the other side, but, really the barrier to entry to getting into real estate, and you're going through this right now, is, you can take 3 online classes, you read some books, and then you can take the test, and then you're thrown. Now, you're doing it to kind of help me out, but most people, they'll take the test, and then they get kind of thrown to the wolves, and you have to figure out what the heck you're going to do.
And there are wolves because they send you stuff right away.
Yeah, absolutely.
The minute that you pass your test, right?
Yeah, they do.
I also want you to talk about what the difference is between being an island and having a team or an assistant, and how your life has changed having an assistant. I think
Absolutely.
That's important. And what's the gut that you listen to inside to make that change? Because I've seen a few agents teetering and then some that take the plunge.
Right.
So I want you to talk about that too.
Definitely. All right, we'll get into that on the other side of the break, but we got to take a quick one. This is Mike D'Ambrosio. Laura Pesavento from the D'Ambrosio Real Estate team is here, and we'll be right back on the other side of the break.
For more information on today's program, visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Do you know Mike D'Ambrosio, reputable real estate professional in the Silicon Valley? He was born and raised here in Silicon Valley. He's very excited to be working in a geographic area that he loves and knows well. He firmly believes that this is the best place to live in the entire country. He specializes in Bay Area real estate. Are your family's needs changing? Are your parents in need of changing living conditions? Are your children first-time home buyers? Do you just want to expand your income revenue stream through real estate investments? He would be happy to meet with you and discuss your options while explaining the advantages of using his team to expand your opportunities of owning real estate in the Bay Area. He's dedicated to providing you quality, honesty, and creativity in every real estate transaction. He's highly recommended by many for his attention to his clients' needs and by making sure that your experience is as enjoyable and as painless as possible. Real estate transactions are not small tasks, and that's why they should be done efficiently, smartly, and as thoroughly as possible. That's his promise to you. Whether you're buying or selling, let him put his expertise and experience to work for you and make your transaction a smooth and enjoyable one. The time is now. Don't let another opportunity slip by. Call him directly at 408-630-0101. Email Mike at MikeDsells.com or visit his website, MikeDsells.com. Cal BRE number 0184192. Welcome back to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's topic or guests, just visit RERadiolive.com. That's RERadiolive.com. Again, your host for today's edition of Real Estate Radio Live, Mike D'Ambrosio.
Welcome back into Real Estate Radio Live, the podcast series. Again, it's Mike D'Ambrosio, and Laura Pesavento from the D'Ambrosio Real Estate team is here. And we're actually talking about something a little bit different today, becoming a realtor. It's like I like
a realtor.
A realtor. You've seen the commercials.
As opposed to a fake tour?
Yeah, exactly. Or becoming a real estate agent, I guess, we can say that. But just a reminder for anything and everything real estate and real estate related for the Real Estate Radio Live podcast, you can check out RERadiolive.com. So let's get back into. I just want to go. We kind of jumped around a little bit in the last segment, but I want to talk about just really kind of a step-by-step. Again, we've had people reach out to us that are curious about this. I know we have a lot of people that are investors that listen to the show, or people that maybe aren't too happy with their job and maybe they're considering somewhat of a career change. So if you're out there listening, this is really kind of the step-by-step process you need to take in order to become a real estate agent and get your license. So really, the first thing is to take classes. So you can do that online. There's plenty of online real estate companies that will help you, send you books. You can do online courses.
And fairly inexpensive.
It really is. Yeah, like I said, it's pretty inexpensive. It's pretty simple, straightforward. You can take classes at community colleges. You can take classes at college. And then you can take your test. So then you take your test, you get your license. Then when you get your license, then that's when you choose a broker. a broker to go work at, or if you do become a broker yourself, then you can make the decision on whether to go out on your own or you can still sign on as a broker associate with a larger broker. But most people that are brand new decide to go to a bigger brokerage house.
That's what you recommend.
That's my recommendation. Take it for what it's worth, but that's what I would recommend. So you go choose a broker, and then what you need to do is get training, because what you do on the real estate test is not going to prepare you for anything you're going to be experiencing on day to day. It's the truth.
And why do you say that?
Because the real estate test is really a lot more about theory and older terminology that just simply isn't really used anymore in the real estate industry. And the real estate test is not going to show you how to write a contract and deal and get business and deal with transactions and stuff. It's just not. It's just more theory related. So you need to get training. The good brokerages will have good training in place, not only as from a corporate level, but if you do decide to join a good office, they should have more training within the office as well, outside of the main corporate training. And that training should really include a lot of main things. It should include how to prospect for business. It should include how to write contracts. It should include how to hold an open house. It's
CRM.
Yeah, how to use a client relationship management software to manage your database. There should be all these, kind of like at our office, we're doing what's called a productivity course. It's a 12-week program where we have agents come in. We teach on a wide array of topics that's going to get them to actually doing business and knowing how to do the business. And they have homework sometimes that they have to turn in, and we kind of make it like a whole thing.
We left that back in high school.
Hey, tough. If you want to learn how to do it, you gotta commit and get the homework done. So after all of the training, then what you really need to do, and really what real estate is it's not only making people's dreams come true and helping them with their real estate goals. That's the heartfelt version of what real estate is. But if you're really looking at it from a business person's perspective as a real estate agent, real estate is a lead generation business. You need to generate so looking at it from a realtor, yes, I want to help people. I want to help them achieve their dreams. And that's the warm and fuzzy. I love handing keys over to a first time home buyer.
You love helping people.
That's the best part of the job. But none of that would be possible if I didn't know how to actually go out and generate the business in order to get that. So how do people do that in real estate? And it's not easy. That's really the hardest part. This is sales 101. This is, if you've never been in sales before and you jump into real estate, you better be ready to figure out how to be a salesperson. So prospecting for business, a lot of people do, sphere of influence, your family, friends, past coworkers, your barber, your whoever's in the sphere of influence.
Soft sell, right?
Yeah, whoever's in your sphere of influence that already knows you, likes you, trusts you, is going to be willing to refer business to you. That should be your core way of getting business. And then there's all sorts of ways to get business outside of that. You have open houses, you have cold calling, door knocking. You can do a podcast.
Oh,
hey.
You love door knocking.
I love.
Can we talk about that?
I hate door knocking because I sold roofing and windows door to door when I was in college in Sacramento, which was like 110 degrees out during the summer. And, that's a true sales thing with door knocking. I mean, it's tough. It's
fun.
So yeah, you can do that. You can do a podcast if you want. Hey, look at that. You can do farming, which for people out there listening that live in a neighborhood that gets something from a realtor like once a month or whatever, that's called farming. They're farming a particular neighborhood that they specialize in. You can do social media. There's all sorts of different ways. I'm missing some.
Yeah,
but
Mike, can I interject for 1 second? It's a funny story, actually. Yeah. It's the cold call. So I'll never forget being in the office. This is a true story. New agent, and she was shyer than someone who I've ever met, shyer than anyone I've ever met. And she's wanting to be a real estate salesperson. Yeah. And she was petrified because she couldn't make a cold call. Yeah. And I'm looking at her like, are you kidding me? You are going to be a salesperson and you can't make a cold call? Yeah. Because she didn't know how to start the process. Right. And that's what Intero taught her. And now she's closing deals left and right. Yeah. I mean, it's, you get the scripts down and, you just got to get
get out there and do it.
So
So that's pretty funny. Yeah, I like that story. I know who you're talking about,
I
too.
know you do.
So then people ask me, okay, so then what's involved on a day-to-day basis on what do you do as a realtor? I mean, so what you really should be doing is there's different answers. There's what you really should be doing and what a lot of people do. What you really should be doing as a realtor is a couple of things: showing property, marketing your listings, negotiating contracts, writing contracts, and helping your clients and dealing with your clients and communicating with your clients. Those are really the top tier things that top producers will do. Now, there's other people in this business that maybe don't do as much business, and they focus on the activities that aren't going to really generate business. They're going to be stuffing envelopes and doing different things that they probably should hire someone else to help them do. So really, if you really treat this as a business, you will be doing those main things that I just mentioned. And that's really what a day looks like. But no day is the same in real estate, which is what's awesome about it.
Super true.
It's always different. I could be showing houses up in Atherton one day, and then I could be down somewhere else going on a listing appointment. It kind of varies every day. So it's all about it surrounds the properties, the contracts, the negotiating, working with other agents, and working with your clients is really what the top
and
things
also,
is.
Feeding your pipeline.
Yeah, and lead generating.
Yep.
Again, I can't believe I forgot that. So that's about really the steps it takes. Now, you had a question before the first half was over. What was that again?
It's taking that step. I know for a while there you were really we work together part-time, very part-time, and you're like, one of these days you're going to come full-time. I'm going to need you.
Yeah.
Well, that's a very scary step for a one-person operation and then turning into having a team. So an assistant, a full-time assistant, and potentially a whole team. So,
yeah, I think that there's a level you reach where you can only do so much business on your own until you need an assistant or a business development person or a buyer's agent to help you with buyers. There's a level you reach where it's like a plateau, right? You can only do this much business with this many minutes in a day, 1,440 minutes in a day.
Of course.
Okay. So then you have to make that jump. It's either, you stay at that level forever, or you take a leap of faith and you trust that person you bring on is going to help you get to that next level and therefore help you pay for that person. That's really kind of there's no formula to it. I mean, I don't want to get into deal count and stuff, but there is a certain amount of deals and a certain amount of volume that's about the time that most people make that jump. Now, there's some people that come into this business and hire an assistant right away without the business and just go for it. We've had people do that, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Or we have people that never get an assistant and they're fine with that and they can handle it. We have people that even work with virtual assistants. So it's all kind of how you want to structure your business. And that's another thing is that, you have different people that enter this business. There's people that want to become top producers and want to make a lot of money. There's, stay-at-home mom or dads that want to do it on the side and just make a supplemental income for their spouse.
Right. They're just happy just being part-time.
Yeah, which is fine. There's people that are referral agents that don't really even do any business. They just refer deals into the office and they get a referral fee. There's all sorts of ways you can structure this business. And then there's people that become primarily listing agents. There's people that just become buyer's agents. So there's all sorts of ways. I guess what I'm getting at is it's very fluid. You can make it what you want.
Let me ask you this. I may be putting you on the spot because I don't know if you really know these numbers right off the top of your head. But you said there's people that just give referral business. What's the most you've ever heard of an agent that doesn't sell but gives referral business to agents that do? Just a crazy number. What's the range of what you've seen?
Yeah,
because
so
that's kind of intriguing to me.
That's a good question, and I would say that I don't know who's made the most, but let's just run through an example. So the average sales price in Santa Clara County is $1 million, and let's say you got 2.5% commission times. let's say the average commission check is $20,000, just for even numbers is $20,000. The typical referral fee is going to be 25%. Or whatever it's
so someone who doesn't want to have to deal with any of the paperwork or any of the hassle coming into the office just gives people names of people that are ready to rock and roll.
What has a license?
Has a license. Took the test
and refers it is like $5,000
per deal.
I mean, if it's $1 million sales price, if it's 500, it's going to be half that. If it's more than that, it could be more.
Sure.
So let's say you run across half a dozen people in a year.
Yep.
You know, that's an extra $30,000-$40,000 you can make.
Wow. For just saying, hey, here's, Sally.
Now, that's like the just a generic example, but sometimes the referral fee is different. Maybe it's 15 or 20%. Maybe it's more than that. Maybe the agent goes down this really long road with these clients and it's much harder than they thought. Maybe they renegotiate the compensation for that. There's all sorts of ins and outs to the answer to that question, but in general, if you feel like you have a lot of contacts and you might be able to refer someone some business, there's some income to be had there. But you gotta be watching for that business and making sure you're getting those referrals over. Yep. So anyways, I think that's all the time that we have. I think we covered a lot of ground. If you have any other questions on getting into the business, please feel free to reach out. I've been in this business almost 10 years now. And I made the genius decision to get into real estate in 2008, which was the worst time to get into real estate in Sacramento, which is one of the worst markets in the country. But so I've seen a lot of things. I've seen come from there up into being in the mecca of real estate, Silicon Valley right now, and the place that people all around the world watch to look at real estate. So I feel like I got some good experience. I'm also in management, so I see both sides of it. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can email me, mike@reradiolive.com. That's mike@reradiolive.com. You can check out all sorts of info on my website, mikedsells.com. That's mikedsells.com. Or give me a buzz or text 408-630-0101, 408-630-0101. Laura, thanks for coming on and bantering with me.
Thank you for hiring me on as your assistant
You're
a year
welcome.
ago.
It's been a pleasure.
That's genius.
It's a pleasure. I couldn't do it without you now, and it's all good, and we have many fun times ahead.
Yes, we do.
Thanks for tuning in to Real Estate Radio Live, the podcast series. We appreciate you guys. Take care. We'll see you soon.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit reradiolive.com. That's reradiolive.com. Subscribe to our podcast. Discover more at reradiolive.com.